What did you think of maybe the completion of Tiger's comeback as someone who has come back from the depths yourself?
I was just going to talk about this, right? And I sent out a tweet about it because now the program I'm in, it's an anonymous program, but I'm not an anonymous guy, right? So when I talk about my struggles and things like that, and for everybody out there who deals with the things they deal with on their own and they choose to deal with it in an anonymous way or whatnot, I did put out a tweet and I said, it's not lost on me that what we saw in that mugshot, what, two years ago? A year and a half
something
ago?
like that, yeah.
That's the same mugshot I had. So I knew exactly where he was at in his life at that time, right? And what I was so impressed with was the individuals in his life that had been enablers had finally took a hard line and set a boundary and said, hey, we're not going to enable your behavior anymore. We're willing to support you in every facet we can when it comes to your recovery. He hasn't necessarily talked about it, but it's not lost on me that the fact that the guy that won the Masters tournament at 43 years old 2 years ago was not able to do anything like this. And because he's a sober individual, or at least on a path to recovery, he was able to become the man that he's always been. And it's amazing. And I think that was more heartfelt for me. And I think it's made him more likable and relatable. But guess what? He's this flawed human being like all of us. He's just exceptionally good at golf. And he has been the best in the world of all time, maybe. And I think we've always stuck him on that pedestal. Like, when he'd screw up, you'd think, like, how is that possible? He's got everything going for him. He's just making terrible choices. It's easy. It's easy to do because a lot of times when you raised it up on that pedestal, you don't really have the tools to live life on life's terms in a normal fashion. And he really had to face those things. And I think there's a lot of accountability about what he's done. And this win, out of all of them, had to have been as sweet as you can have imagined. And
had to have been as sweet as the first, probably, right?
I think it was more. I really do. I think because he was destined to do that. He was going to do it no matter what. No one. Now, there were some that were continuing to think that he might be able to. I did not believe he was going to be able to win another major. And I was wrong. I was blatantly wrong because he took a good hard look in the mirror, faced his demons, went about and did the work. And I think that's important. He wasn't talking about anything out there, right? He wasn't talking about anything. He was just going out and doing the work, gradually getting to the place where he won the Tour Championship a year ago and then put himself in a position. This year is huge, right? Three of the 4 venues this year are spots where he's won majors.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.